My girlfriend said, "From now on, I will decide when we get married. Stop putting pressure on me." I didn't say anything and just went quiet. 3 weeks passed. No messages, no calls, no meetings. Then one evening, there was a soft knock on the door. When I opened it, she was standing there, and when she saw someone standing with me, tears immediately filled her eyes and began to fall. I'm a 29-year-old systems architect. I design cloud infrastructure for mid-sized companies. Nothing glamorous, but it pays well. My name doesn't matter. What matters is that for 3 years, I thought I knew exactly where my life was headed. Her name was Brooke, 27, worked in marketing for a boutique firm downtown, had this laugh that could light up a room. We met at a friend's barbecue back in the summer of 2021. By fall, we were inseparable. By the following spring, I knew she was it. Everything felt right. We moved in together after a year. Split rent on a decent 2-bedroom in the suburbs. We talked about the future constantly, kids, a house with a backyard, maybe a dog. I started saving seriously. Cut back on everything. Stopped going out with the guys as much. Started looking at engagement rings during my lunch breaks. Last October, I finally worked up the nerve. We were at her favorite Italian place, the one with the terrible parking but amazing carbonara. I didn't have the ring yet. Wanted to make sure I got the right one, but I brought it up. Told her I was ready. Told her I wanted to spend my life with her. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "I think we should wait," she said, cutting her pasta into smaller and smaller pieces. "I'm not saying no. I'm just saying, not yet." I respected that. I did. But over the next few months, I kept bringing it up. Not constantly, just every few weeks. Gentle reminders. Asking if she felt any different. Trying to understand her timeline. Then came that Tuesday night in late March. We were watching something on Netflix. I don't even remember what. During a quiet moment, I said, "Have you thought any more about what we talked about?" She paused the show, turned to me with this expression I'd never seen before. Cold. Distant. "From now on, I will decide when we get married," she said. Stop putting pressure on me. The way she said it, like I was some stranger bothering her at a bus stop. I opened my mouth to respond, then closed it. Nodded. Stood up and went to the bedroom. That was the last real conversation we had. Update 1. I made a decision that night. If she needed space to figure out what she wanted, fine. But I wasn't going to beg. I wasn't going to chase. I would simply stop. The next morning, I got up early, went to work, came home, made dinner, and went to bed. Didn't ask her about her day. Didn't try to start a conversation. Just existed in the same space. She noticed immediately. "Are you seriously giving me the silent treatment?" she asked on day 2. "No," I said. "You told me to stop pressuring you. I'm respecting that. This isn't what I meant." "Then what did you mean?" She didn't answer. By the end of the first week, the apartment felt like a museum. We moved around each other carefully, never quite making eye contact. She'd try to start casual conversations sometimes. "How was work?" Or "Want to order Thai tonight?" And I'd respond politely, briefly, then return to whatever I was doing. I wasn't trying to punish her. I was protecting myself. Week 2, she went out more. Girls' nights. Drinks with coworkers. Gym sessions that lasted 3 hours. I didn't ask questions. Didn't wait up. Just focused on my own routine. I also started making plans. Not revenge plans, practical ones. I looked at studio apartments in my price range. Calculated how much it would cost to break the lease early. Started separating our belongings mentally. This is mine. That's hers. We bought that together, so I guess we'll deal with it later. My buddy Cameron noticed something was off when I actually showed up to poker night for the first time in months. "You look like shit, man," he said, dealing cards. "Just tired." "Where's Brooke?" "Home, I guess." "I don't know." He raised an eyebrow but didn't push it. We played cards, drank beer, and for a few hours, I almost felt normal again. When I got home that night around 11, the apartment was dark. Brooke's bedroom door was closed. I could see light underneath it, heard her talking to someone on the phone. Her voice was low, almost secretive. I didn't try to listen. Went to my own room and crashed. By the end of week 3, I'd barely seen her. She was staying late at work most nights, coming home after I was already in bed. On that Friday morning, I noticed her suitcase was missing from the closet. No note. No text. Just gone. I felt nothing. That scared me more than anything. The fact that I felt nothing. Saturday afternoon, I called my sister Lauren. Told her everything. "So what are you going to do?" she asked. "I think I'm done." "You think or you know?" "I know." "Then stick to it." Don't let her come back and sweet-talk you into another 6 months of this. I won't. Good. You deserve better than someone who doesn't know what they want. That evening, Lauren showed up at my apartment with takeout and a bottle of wine. We ate on the couch, talked about everything except Brooke, watched a terrible action movie with too many explosions and not enough plot. Around 9, she hugged me and said, "You're going to be fine. Better than fine." I hope so. I know so. She was still there, helping me clean up the takeout containers, when Brooke knocked. Update 2. The knock was soft, hesitant. 3 gentle taps. I looked at Lauren. She looked at me. "Want me to answer it?" she asked. "No. I've got it." I opened the door, and there she was. Brooke. Hair pulled back, makeup smudged like she'd been crying in the car, holding her purse with both hands like it was the only thing keeping her upright. Her eyes went immediately to Lauren on the couch, then back to me, then to Lauren again, and she just broke. Tears started streaming down her face. Not delicate tears, full, body-shaking sobs. "Who is she?" Brooke choked out. I blinked. "That's my sister." "You're what?" "My sister. Lauren. You've met her. Multiple times." Brooke stared at Lauren, who gave a small, awkward wave from the couch. "Hi, Brooke," Lauren said flatly. The crying didn't stop. If anything, it got worse. Brooke covered her face with her hands, shoulders heaving. I thought you moved on," she sobbed. "I thought you found someone else. In 3 weeks. You stopped talking to me. You stopped caring. You told me to stop pressuring you." I didn't mean. She couldn't finish the sentence. Just stood there in the doorway, falling apart. Lauren stood up, grabbed her jacket. "I'm going to head out. Call me tomorrow." She squeezed my shoulder as she passed, then nodded politely at Brooke. "Good to see you again." Once Lauren was gone, I stepped aside. "You want to come in?" Brooke nodded, wiping her face with her sleeve. She came inside slowly, like she wasn't sure she was allowed to anymore. We sat on opposite ends of the couch. The same couch where, 3 weeks ago, she'd told me to stop pressuring her. "I was at my mom's," she said finally. "I needed to think. Okay. I've been confused. About everything. About us. I know. And when you just shut down, I thought you were done with me. I thought I'd lost you." I looked at her. Really looked at her. At the girl I'd planned a future with. The girl I'd rearranged my entire life around. "Brooke," I said carefully, "what do you want?" "I want us to work." "That's not what I asked." "What do you want? Marriage? Kids? A life together? Or do you want to keep things casual until something better comes along?" "That's not fair." "Then help me understand. Because from where I'm sitting, I spent months trying to move forward, and you spent months pulling away. So I stopped trying. And now you're here, crying because I'm not chasing you anymore." She flinched. "I wasn't pulling away. You were at your mom's for a week without telling me. I needed space. You had space. You had 3 years of space. What you didn't have was a decision. And I can't keep waiting for you to decide if I'm worth it." The words came out harsher than I intended, but they needed to be said. Brooke stared at her hands. "There's something I need to tell you." My stomach dropped. "Okay. Last year, when I said I wasn't ready to get engaged, it wasn't about timing." "Then what was it about?" She took a shaky breath. "It was about money." Update 3. I didn't say anything. Just waited. "Your salary is good," she continued, still not looking at me. "Really good. But it's not enough." "Enough for what?" "For the life I want." The words hung in the air between us like something physical and ugly. "Go on," I said. "My sister just bought a house in Riverside. 4 bedrooms, huge yard, pool. Her husband's a cardiologist. They go on 3 vacations a year. She doesn't have to work, but she does because she wants to." Brooke's voice cracked. "And I look at us, and I see us scraping together a down payment for years, maybe getting a starter home in a decent neighborhood if we're lucky, both of us working until we're 65. So I'm not rich enough." "That's not what I'm saying." "Then what are you saying?" "I'm saying I don't know if I can handle being middle class forever. I'm saying I don't know if I want to give up the possibility of more." There it was. The truth I'd been avoiding for months. I leaned back against the couch, suddenly exhausted. "So this whole time, you've been keeping one foot out the door, just in case someone wealthier came along." "No. I love you. I do. But love isn't always enough. Clearly. Don't do that. Don't act like I'm some shallow. You're literally telling me I don't make enough money for you to marry me. What else would you call that?" She stood up abruptly. "I should go." "Yeah, you should." She grabbed her purse, Headed for the door, then stopped. Turned back. For what it's worth, I really did love you. Past tense. Noted. I still do. I don't know if it's enough. It should be. But it's not. So we're done. She opened her mouth like she wanted to argue, then closed it. Nodded. Walked out. I sat there for a long time after she left. Didn't cry. Didn't call anyone. Just sat in the silence of my apartment and felt something fundamental shift inside me. The future I'd been building in my head for 3 years crumbled completely, and in its place was just empty space. Around midnight, I texted Lauren, "You were right. I'm going to be fine." She responded immediately, "Damn right you are." The next morning, I called a moving company. Got a quote. Started packing. Final update. I moved out 2 weeks later. Found a 1-bedroom about 20 minutes from work. Smaller than the old place, but it was mine. No shared memories. No ghosts haunting the corners. Just blank walls and possibility. Brooke texted me a few times in those 2 weeks. Asked if we could talk. Asked if I was really leaving. Asked if there was any chance we could work things out. I kept my responses short. No. Yes. No. The last text she sent was on moving day. I made a mistake. I see that now. Can we please try again? I stared at it for a long time. Part of me, the part that had loved her for 3 years, wanted to respond. Wanted to ask what changed. Wanted to give her another chance. But the smarter part, the part that had learned something in those 3 weeks of silence, knew better. I blocked her number. Cameron helped me move. Didn't ask questions, just loaded boxes and made jokes about me finally having a bachelor pad again. When everything was in the new apartment, he cracked open 2 beers and said, "To new beginnings." To new beginnings, I echoed. We stood there in my empty living room, drinking cheap beer, and I felt lighter than I had in months. The first month in my new place was strange. Quiet. I'd come home from work and the silence would hit me. No one asking about my day. No one scheduled to coordinate with. Just me and my thoughts. But slowly, I started to enjoy it. Started cooking meals I actually wanted to eat. Started going to the gym at weird hours because I could. Started saying yes to things I'd been putting off. Concerts, weekend trips with friends, that pottery class I'd always been curious about. I ran into Brooke once, about 2 months later, at a grocery store near our old apartment. She was with someone, tall guy, expensive watch, driving a Tesla I saw through the window when they left. She looked happy. Or maybe she was just pretending. She saw me too. Her smile faltered for just a second. The guy said something to her, and she shook her head, turned away quickly, like I was someone she used to know in another life. I bought my groceries and went home. Didn't feel angry. Didn't feel sad. Just indifferent. My sister asked me once if I ever regretted walking away. I told her the truth. No. I regret wasting 3 years on someone who was shopping around. But I don't regret leaving. 6 months after the breakup, I got promoted. Lead architect position. 20% raise. Started traveling more for work. Boston, Seattle, Austin. Met interesting people. Had interesting conversations. Focused on building a life I actually wanted instead of one I thought I was supposed to want. A year later, I heard through mutual friends that Brooke got engaged. To the Tesla guy, apparently. Some finance executive she met at a networking event. They bought a house in Riverside, 2 streets over from her sister. 4 bedrooms. Pool. The whole package. I felt nothing when I heard. No anger. No sadness. No vindictive satisfaction. Just a distant sense of relief that I wasn't the one funding her dreams anymore. These days, I'm doing fine. Better than fine, actually. Dating casually. Met someone recently. Iris, a graphic designer with her own business and no interest in keeping up with anyone's sister. We're taking it slow. No pressure. No timelines. Just seeing where things go. Sometimes I think about that night Brooke showed up crying, convinced I'd moved on because my sister was sitting on my couch. How quickly she jumped to conclusions. How little she trusted me, even after 3 years. How her first thought wasn't, maybe that's family, but he replaced me already. That should have been the red flag I needed from the start. But at least I saw it eventually. At least I had the spine to walk away when it mattered. I'm 30 now. Single apartment. Good job. Decent life. And for the first time in years, I'm not waiting for someone else to decide if I'm enough. I already know I am. Edit 1. A lot of people are asking if I ever found out whether she cheated during those 3 weeks. Honestly, I don't know, and I don't care. The emotional betrayal was enough. Edit 2. To everyone saying I should have fought harder for the relationship, I spent 3 years fighting. At some point, you have to accept that you can't force someone to want the same future you want. Edit 3. Someone asked if I'm bitter. I'm not. I'm just done accepting less than I deserve.